And hi to hello, friends.
Hey,
Good
y'all.
morning, folks. Lester and Jamie here. And we are drinking out of our new coffee mugs. Looky here. We got these sent this week.
Happy
Cheers, Jamie.
Saturday, y'all.
Happy Saturday. Hope you all are doing well. It was so sweet reading all of your wonderful comments. Jamie, will you remove that? There's a bug, and it looks like it's on my face. Did you see that? And I'm hoping it would move, and it was not on my face. It was on the my laptop screen.
You made coffee this morning, huh?
You don't like it?
You put the coffee pot together, didn't you?
Yes. Why? What happened?
We got some jet fuel coffee this morning.
Jet fuel, too bitter.
It's gonna be fine.
I don't understand how that can happen because it's still water percolating or whatever coming through the coffee ground. So how can it be different than the way you make it?
You put a lot of more coffee grounds in it than I did.
So the more coffee grounds, the more bitter it's going to be.
The more strong.
The stronger.
Jet fuel it is, friends.
Jet
It's
fuel
okay.
it up, Jamie.
I can use it.
It's nice seeing you all. So BJC says they're so tired of the shirt intros. Well, we're not.
I love them.
We have one more chapter to go.
Yeah.
We've done 4 chapters so far. And so if you have not seen your particular, if you've not seen your shirt that you sent in, your shirt picture, just give us one more chapter. I think I'll have that in the next couple of days. And then
we'll have gone through them all. But
then we'll have gone through them all.
I love to see the people that we interact with. We see the names, we see the things you write, but to see you, I don't know, that to me is one of the neatest things. Like, just connects it for me.
Yeah, and then I always say this: whenever someone takes the time to email or even writes a personal, a snail mail, they call it, letter, it's really nice to hear people's stories and their perspectives on the country and the things, in their life. So it's just really neat because, like you said, we share our lives, our daily life, and everything about us, the good, the bad, and the ugly, especially after my recent doctor procedure. You know me inside and out now. Literally, because I showed my picture yesterday. I showed my colonoscopy pictures on my live.
Are you serious?
And it was cool, and people were I would say the reactions were kind of 50-50.
Mixed.
On completely grossed out. Some were kind and said, "Oh, too much information," with that little green emoji of someone throwing up. Have you seen that one?
There's a lot of people that didn't go into the medical field for a reason, babe.
I get it.
But how are you feeling?
Oh, I feel wonderful. I feel great. Light as a feather and clean as a whistle, as they say. What's wrong?
Do you want to?
What? Oh, Lordy.
Can we talk about last night and dinner and the situation?
Okay.
I get home.
First of all, I don't know what she's about to say, so I may have to give you my version, the correct version of the story, the real version.
I
But
get
go
home
ahead.
and I'm like, "Are you hungry?" You're like, "No." And then an hour later, "Are you hungry?" "No."
Okay, well, hold on.
And I know that Lester Morrow was hungry at that point in time and day. It doesn't matter if he ate before, unless he just ate, which he didn't. I know that he's hungry. And he's like lying to me about not being hungry. Do you want to tell him why that you didn't want dinner last night?
I don't know how to say it the right way. I do not know how to say this the right way of why I don't want to eat. But I'll just say it like this. The reason I don't want to eat is the same reason I've not even had one drink of my delicious coffee yet.
I was gonna point that out too, but like, he's not even drinking it. Maybe it's because I said something, but no, it's tied together, isn't it?
It's tied together. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, have y'all ever mopped the floor and then you don't want to walk across it because you don't want to put marks? You just want to, you clean your house.
We clean the kitchen
and you
27 times a day, and we don't want anybody to walk into the kitchen.
And or from maybe a guy's perspective, you wash your truck, or if you happen to buy a new vehicle, you don't want to drink in it, you don't want to eat in it, you don't want any of those smells. You want to keep the car as new and as long as possible. And so I find myself, now that I've done that entire procedure, and I'm all clean. I feel so clean all over, inside and out. And now I just don't want to walk across my freshly mopped kitchen with this cup of coffee or with a couple of frozen burritos.
I
know
had
that
bought
sounds weird.
no,
but it's
I
just-
bought steaks. I bought beautiful T-bone steaks to make
Yeah.
last night with baked potatoes to make
I
this
know,
fabulous
I
dinner.
know.
And he was like, "No thanks." Excuse me, what?
Well,
No thanks.
I mean, I am hungry. Don't get me wrong. I am hungry. So I am hungry, but I just don't want to dirty my kitchen up.
it ain't the kitchen. It's more like the garbage
Someone
disposal.
says you want to keep your pipes clean. I know. Oh, Lord. Someone says, can we please change the topic of discussion? Well, sure, but don't forget that we just like to talk. We're real people, just like you are. And
we don't come here with like an agenda to talk about.
No,
we literally are
we
like,
stopped doing that. We used to.
it's Saturday morning. I'll be real with you. I slept later than I have in years. Like I don't know. Lester was up before me.
I thought she was dead.
He
and
did.
I was scared to walk in there and feel her because I don't want to be the one to discover her dead. I don't think you want to discover me dead, do you?
No.
And so I got up at my normal time, did a few things, and I'm thinking, Jamie should be up by now. And then when I walked out to the horses and saw them acting a fool, I'm like, oh, Jamie had not even been out here at all. Because sometimes she does wake up early, comes out and does things, then goes back to bed. And I never know.
But last night we weren't up late or anything. And like, this is the weirdest thing. I fell asleep before him last night. And then
Lester, drink your coffee. Keep talking.
he's so scared. He suddenly has like a fear of, anyway. But anyway, so normally I'm up at 6, no problem. I woke up at 6. I let the dogs out and I came to lay back down. And the next thing I know, he's up. And I'm like, he's up, like staying up. Not just he got up to pee, like he's up. And I reach over my phone and it is 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
I haven't slept until 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Since I was a kid, probably. Like that doesn't happen. And so I apologize for my bags and everything else, but like I don't know what's wrong with me. Like no idea. But I'm embarrassed that I slept that late. I feel like I missed half the day. I walked out, apologized to all the animals, and Voodoo was accepting, not very patiently, but Rita was not. Rita was throwing a fit, and I was like, and like my reflexes and everything were odd this morning. So like I'm dropping things left and right. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Hey, I have not poisoned her. It sounds like poisoning, but
I spent the afternoon yesterday with Brienne and Carter and Cash.
There you go, right there, kids. You were around kids.
And I saw them this week whenever the girls and I went to Goodwill, and afterwards I hung out with Carter and Cash, and then I also got to meet the baby. And then so like I'm hoping that I did not catch some sort of funk between being out in public, because that's really rare, because normally my interactions are like Tractor Supply and
Yep.
that's it. So I'm hoping that I didn't catch something, but it was just, I don't know. I feel like I missed a day. Like I somehow time lapsed, and I don't know. We'll see. Lester, you have to eat. They're telling you must eat.
I will. So I don't know if you plan on making a video or not, but a lot of people are asking about your reaction to the new furniture.
I have a video. It'll play.
I will. I said this yesterday. I don't remember, but where I was at when I said it, but I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to be as nice and polite, and I'm going to think about what I'm saying before I say it. You all know your partner's expressions. You also know when they're faking it. Okay. Listen, you can tell when your partner is faking it. Let's not go there, but you can tell when your partner's faking it. And here's what I suspect. I think that you were surprised.
I was surprised.
But if you had been with me shopping, you more than likely would have gone a different direction. Maybe a different color, a different style, a different look.
That's
It's okay.
That's not the truth, actually.
And I don't want to take away from your video because everyone knows that we have to have our videos. That's how we make a living.
So like my reaction, I was surprised that it happened. Then when I watched your video, I was like, he only went one place.
I only went one place.
I am a woman, okay? Even if I know what I want to buy, I'm going at least 4 places to look at my options and then make a decision.
You watched that video?
Yes.
How embarrassing.
So that's really the crutch of like my response is like, I do like it, but in my head I'm like, I also don't know what was available to choose from. So yeah, absolutely. It's very comfortable. It's very cozy.
Miss Marie says, isn't that a major purchase you should do as a couple? That's what I have heard. And I heard it from her.
Hold on.
People don't go buy and thank you, Marie. Thank you, Marie, for your comment.
It's fine and it's perfect. And I was pleased to not have to use the brain power to do it. That is that was wonderful for that I didn't have to carve out a special thing. There were no arguments. Like I'll also say that. No arguments. And we don't really argue like that, but sometimes I'll want something that he's like, it's just not the right thing. It's, whatever.
Sally, who's on YouTube, buying furniture without Jamie, that's a no. Listen.
I'll just say it is kind of a man's furniture.
So here, let me tell you kind of what prompted it. So listen, hold on. Can I show something? I'm going to show our feet. Baby, we love you so much. Okay. We love you. She is sleeping on top of my feet. Okay. And I love her so very much. I do. I love Trixie. I love her so much and she loves me, but she's getting older and she's having a little bit of an issue with, what's the proper word?
She has a weak bladder.
She has a weak bladder. And so Trixie, you guys don't know this. And even though I trust me, I've read your emails and I see the comments. I'm a freak when it comes to reading. I know that you want us to give her the pill.
Christmas one.
I forgot the name of that pill.
So Trixie
Trixie does not take pills. Every time we go get stuff for Trixie, we have to find a soluble.
No, we have to find an
injectable.
And they don't make that an injectable.
Trixie is the only of our 7 dogs, most of which who are rescues, will not.
She's even more particular about the food that she eats and takes it to like it is. She thinks we're poisoning her with everything we give her. Even when everybody else has the exact same treat or the exact same thing, she won't eat it.
Trixie, we don't know why. I don't know. She's always been that way. We love her,
Trixie's
but she's difficult. She's difficult. Yeah, she's difficult, friends. She's very difficult, and she doesn't take pills. And so we instead we just try to use a diaper. And when I say try to use a diaper, it's not hard to throw a diaper on her. She allows us to do it. Her little nub of a tail wags back and forth, and so she's okay with the diaper, but it doesn't always fit perfect. And so she has had so many accidents on the couch.
It leaks out of her.
It does. I'm not being gross, y'all. We're not trying to be vulgar.
She has urinary incontinence and she has no control. It's not, and she's embarrassed about it on top of it all too.
And so even though we're loving of her and we accept her with everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, sometimes her diaper will slip off or it'll come off somehow, or she may sneak it off or sneak in without us putting it on.
Yeah.
And she doesn't help it. But here's what I was getting to. That wasn't the main part of the story. Jamie has refused to sit on the couch. She wouldn't sit down on the couch with me anymore. And a lot of our routine, the part of our routine that I love the most is the hours between maybe 8
he used to get
and
so
10
mad
o'clock.
At me. He's like, I would sit at the kitchen counter and watch TV with him, but I wasn't going to sit on the couch. And he was like, just sit down. So we had the waterproof covers and everything like that, but it didn't matter because it also was on the back of the couch. Like
it was a smell of the couch, and no matter how much we scrubbed and cleaned. And here's the crazy thing. I don't know if this is the same way with you. When I've been inside the house for a bit, I become sort of nose blind to it. But then even though I don't have the best of smell power, whenever I would walk in from being out or being gone for a few hours, it was overwhelming, the smell that was coming out of the house.
And it didn't matter what I scrubbed it with.
We
power washed it
with. Yeah, power wash. We have an event coming up on the 19th our family, our big family get together here at the property. And so without asking Jamie, I just wanted to surprise her. And I know she was busy. And so she had a 1-day conference that she was going to go off to. So I took that moment to go out and do something special, I thought.
You did.
And so I went to the furniture shop without telling her. I thought I found something that was going to be accommodating to us, to our lifestyle, to our living room, and to, when folks come over, the house will smell nice again. But so surprise, Jamie.
I do. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm not grateful, that I don't love it, that I like that I'm not going to go change it out. Like none of those things, nothing like that. I
think that what Jamie will probably do is next time we go to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever you buy rugs, maybe try to find a rug that can tie everything together.
Yeah.
And I've seen that on here 100 times, not today, but in the video that I made about the furniture, a lot of folks were saying, just put a rug, the rug will tie it all together.
I think it's totally fine. The color scheme works great. It's just, as a woman, like you always have things in your head about what you're going to walk into and what things are going to look like. So.
Cindy, this is a funny one here, Cindy. And I'm afraid if I give you the honest answer, you're going to all be mad at me.
I'm not. I'll give the honest answer.
So, you're going to do it? Okay, go ahead.
No one's getting on the couches. No one. And for the most part.
How many days in are we so far?
Like
1, 2,
3.
3 or 4 days in, and no one's been on the couches yet.
So we've been like policing it. And then at night when we're not looking or when we're not home, they get either locked in our bedroom or locked in the bathroom.
Or even closed outside. Now, the only problem with closing Trixie outside is that she's a barker.
And a crier and a scratcher at the door.
Oh, she just goes and she'll scratch.
And then everybody else that's trying to sleep barks at her.
Then all our dogs bark at her. So
Trixie doesn't mind being outside with Fiona and Millie. And they have dog beds in the shop. And like in reality, all the dogs should be outside.
I hope that y'all can tell how real we are from this conversation. This is the craziest, most ragtag operation ever.
Everybody should be outside. Let me just be clear here. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. They have shelter. They have food, all the things. But we have dogs that are rescue dogs that they all have different demeanors and different breeds. Okay. So what happens is Millie and Fiona want to guard, okay? And when something comes up, they go bark. If Christmas is out here and Trixie is out here, they will chase it further than Fiona and Millie. Fiona and Millie just want it off the perimeter. Christmas and Trixie want it out of our lives and to never come back. And that could mean chasing it for miles. They can dig underneath the fences. That like Christmas is a whack job, okay? She will climb the fences to be able to get a raccoon or whatever the heck else out. Stella cannot see or hear. And this is what happens, okay?
That is true.
She can all of a sudden hear a high-pitched something going on. So Stella sometimes will start the whole thing barking at nothing, and then everybody's on a mad hunt for nothing because Stella did it. Meanwhile, Stella crawls back to the bed and goes to bed, and everybody else is on a wild goose hunt and is halfway down the river. So we have to strategize about who stays outside.
It's hard. It's
not watching.
It's a science, y'all. It is a scientific formula.
He didn't believe me.
That Jamie knows and I don't. Mr. Anthony says, "Will you let Mr. Hank on the couch?" with the laughy face. I do. Mr. Hank, the furniture has changed him. Jamie, I don't know how to say that.
That's furniture, so true. Hank stole the show in the video about the furniture.
But ever since then, the new furniture has somehow changed his entire personality, because before,
I think it matches him and he's like, this is for me.
Mr. Hank,
clearly for me.
That's our cat. He would not even go near the old furniture like you. And now he thinks it belongs to him. And I have seen him scare Mabel and scare Aries, scare them away. He doesn't want them anywhere near it. I'm like, Hank, what's wrong with you? He has no claws, but he can sure hiss and make himself big. And they come by and he's like, and they scatter. And he's like, okay. And he's back to sleep. I'm thinking, Hank, it's not your couch. Yeah. Mr. Hank loves the couch, though.
Madly loves the couch.
And so, listen, so I'm just going to say this, and I don't know how you're going to take it, because I know everyone's different. And remember, it's our home, so let us be free in our home. But I don't really mind the fur on the furniture. I mean, it's kind of annoying when I see myself in a black shirt.
But
and
I vacuum the couches.
But I really can't stand the animals, peeing on it.
No,
And
that was too much.
was where you got to kind of draw the line, friends. And so I know that you're probably upset that we leave Trixie out or put her in the room, but the floors across the house are, they're able to be mopped. And so if she does have an accident on the bedroom floor or the bathroom floor or Jamie's office, we just have to mop it up or wipe it up. It doesn't leave a smell like it does on the furniture.
Yeah.
And then even our doggy beds are able to be washed. So we have doggy beds and we can wash those. So anyway, it seemed a little bit harsh that we're not letting her on the furniture, but it's just, we have to live here, friends. We have to live here. So,
there are two somewhat non-laughing things that we need to talk about. They're not laughing things. They're very real things. And I know we started out very high. I need to call out that
I don't know where she's going here, so excuse my facial expressions.
No, one of them is about your video stuff last night, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, I need to address, there are a lot of people going, what are you doing to help Helene? How dare you make a video sitting here laughing and chumming it up and having coffee while there's people in the world that are okay. And I will say a few things about this. Number one, I have said on so many videos and so many lives that I feel guilty and horrible for sitting over here laughing. I feel guilty and horrible for enjoying my days while there are people struggling and things going on. I also know my physical limitations and my abilities and things to be able to drop everything and go to a place that I hear that they're not letting people into. So the impact that we have done is in monetary value that we don't feel is really important to type up and brag and show us making donations.
And a lot of people will feed their egos by sharing with you all how much money they've donated and how many supplies they're sending. Remember that when you watch a video of some guy showing you all what he's doing or some girl showing you what they're doing, remember, they're not feeding the poor or the hungry. They're feeding their egos.
So step one, we have made donations direct to people and not through large organizations. And we have done it through direct people that have no
connections too. People
yes.
who are connected, who are in
yes.
direct connection with,
and who are doing direct to people donations.
I think well, I mean, we're not. Well, once again, when you start talking about how much money you're giving, I feel like we're tooting our own horn. We're not here to do that.
No.
But
I need to say that we're doing it, but we're doing it on our own because I also feel like I have talked about the horrible impact, but everything, when I turn on social media today, everything is about that. And I also feel like it's somewhat of our job to give an escape to people who might need to think about something else and smile and laugh and just be able to realize that the things that they're going through, they will come out of. And our slogan of because we're all survivors of something applies to this too. So I don't start with talking about everything that's going on in the world for that reason. And that's going to be our stance. We acknowledge it. We fully believe that it is horrible, and I'm angry at what's going on. And I one day want to be able to talk about that, but it's not this morning over coffee. And I want to be able to stay true to who we are and truly provide an escape to the horrific things that are going on too.
Guys, don't forget that you're our friends, and you're our social media family. And it's not you never want to upset people. And, even with friends, sometimes you have indifferences, the way that you feel about things. And so sometimes even with your friends, you just choose not to bring up topics. Sometimes things will slip. Sometimes people can read your actions and things that you say into the way you feel. But if we can find a way to continue to have a sanctuary in our page, a place we can all escape and learn to love and understand that we're human and we make mistakes, but we're a safe place. We're a safe place. And so sometimes talking about things that are, let's just say, controversial is not always a safe place for people who want to escape those kinds of topics with politics or religion and things. And I
So
think that kind of
instead,
time. Yeah, go
we're
ahead.
we're sharing our real days, vlogish style, but and talking about real life things that are happening, and maybe providing a simple laugh of his bloopers of coming out of a colonoscopy. You know, like
Oh.
so I don't want to keep harping on that, but I needed to address it because there are really nasty people messaging and putting things in the comments saying, how dare you come on here and drink your coffee like the world is all right. There's always something horrific going on in this world.
The world is not all right, friends, but we're just trying to put that aside for a little while,
because everyone needs an escape and everyone needs to be able to laugh and smile because it's good for your soul. So the next thing, one more not so fun thing to talk about, and then we'll move back to the real life things. Lester made a video last night about he's leaving Facebook. Well, keep in mind that's this part right here, this one right here, this tiny little baby right here, this little Longhorn Lester.
Can I explain myself though? So I think that the number one comment that I've heard is that people who support I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, which is all of the animals, don't think it's just the Plum Grove animals. People who support I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, those funds have not been impacted whatsoever. All of our vet cost, all of our feed, all of the fertilizer, the hay crop, the green hay we just bought, all of those things, that page has not been affected at all.
No,
so Facebook,
staying the same.
I'm a Survivor. Please don't pull your donations of the $2.49 a month. That helps us so very much. And I'm afraid that in my video last night where I was upset about this channel, I'm afraid this channel is going to suffer because people don't realize what I'm trying to say. And I made a big blooper that's going to probably hurt the entirety of our farm if people start pulling their donations from the sanctuary channel. Not the actual location, but the channel does so much for all of our babies. So please think about that before you start trying to. But the problem with Longhorn Lesters is I don't know exactly what it is. And so I was too fast to say it's people. It may be bots. It may be AI. It may be some automated system. But all I remember is a long time ago when I used to do a lot on Craigslist. If you ever put something on Craigslist, like for sale, people who are trying to sell the same thing can flag your content. And Craigslist, without ever looking at the content to see if it was flaggable, or they would just immediately remove it. And I thought that was so unfair because it's competition really what drives it. And I don't know who or what or why, but for some reason, only Longhorn Lesters, Jamie's channel, I didn't mean to bump you. Jamie's channel is fine. I'm a Survivor Facebook is fine. It's only issues with Longhorn Lesters. And it's not just from yesterday. It's been ongoing for a while. And so I've still been making videos trying to give people who only use Facebook a glimpse at what's going on with the Longhorn Lester content, the Longhorns, things like that. And I've also been doing a lot of live videos, which don't make any money, but they're still letting those people at least know what's going on, because I get it. Some people don't want to leave Facebook, and I'm not trying to make you leave Facebook. So all I was saying is that if I keep getting in trouble with this channel, then it's really unfair to keep putting out content and putting out time, taking away from this channel for videos that's going to keep getting removed because either a hater or something, maybe the AI, or help me if I need help here, but explain it in better words.
Maybe it's maybe they think you're intoxicated on StreamYard every time. Maybe
they think there's a guy who's drunk, the guy who rambles, a guy who won't shut up. There's a guy. But here's what happened. And I'm so blessed to have people that watch videos to be able to tell me. In the most recent video, and I haven't even told you about this yet, in the most recent video that was removed, there were 3 things that consumed the comments. When I got to the JL Ranch, Sadie would not eat. When I first got there, Sadie would not eat. And I says, that kind of worries me. Why is Sadie not eating? That was one thing that happened in that video. I also talked about my colonoscopy because it was the first live video that I had made after the colonoscopy. And so there were people who were mad that I was driving when supposedly orders say don't drive for 24 hours. I didn't know about that. No one told me a word. They told me I cannot drive home from the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And so I had Jamie drive me. And then the third thing is, there were three things that I talked about. Oh, I didn't talk about it, but a lot of folks noticed that one of our calves had a little bit of a limp in her back leg. And so those three things consumed the comments. And so maybe the AI says, you know what, there's too much controversy over here. We're just going to remove that. Or maybe people were being mad that Sadie didn't eat, or the calf is limping, or I don't know. But it's just one out of, I would say, probably 100 videos that I've had removed for code violations in the last 6 months. And so I told Jamie, if I continue to make live videos on Longhorn Lester's Facebook and they're going to keep getting removed, then everybody on YouTube who's not getting to see any live videos, they're the ones missing out just for someone to keep blocking me or removing me on Facebook. So to make a long story short,
I'm glad you wore this shirt. This
I had no idea.
This is very great billboard like timing here.
Marvin keeps saying, this is the only shirt that I wear. Do I ever wash this? Mr. Marvin,
he has several.
I
wash
tons
laundry
of
every
these.
day.
I have so many of these shirts that I just wear them one after another. But I promise you, I change my clothes daily.
We had this created for my work party. Remember?
And there's so many left over.
Yeah. So that was really okay. So that's it.
So
that's
just
our housekeeping stuff.
summarize real fast. So
summary, Longhorn Lester's is officially a YouTube channel.
So Longhorn Lester's is YouTube. Now it's still on Facebook.
That's YouTube. Just stop saying those words because don't confuse people. Longhorn Lester's is a YouTube channel from moving forward.
But over here, Facebook and YouTube, and over here, Suits the Boots, Facebook and YouTube. So take your pick. But if you want to watch the Longhorn Lester channel, then that's going to be on YouTube for now. And if we can ever figure out Facebook, if we can get a hold of somebody, but so please don't be rushing off to remove your support of the sanctuary, because we depend on that, guys, more than what you realize.
There's so many people saying that we need these shirts. So oh
yeah, y'all do need these shirts.
Yeah. So I'm working on this right here. This was actually done locally by my friend Rebecca down at their company is called Blue Water Mafia. They live on the ocean and they do our merch when we have them printed local. So I've never had custom ink, design this or to
could they even do something like this?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So I am working on the next round of merch to be able to do things like that. But I do love this shirt. I wish it came in women. We only had it done in just the gender neutral.
Gary Edmond from YouTube. I want one of those shirts.
So that's what I'm working on is the three together coming soon. But next big event really is prom. And that is the big focus around here is getting prom ready. And that's not me and Lester getting our bodies or our faces and nails, anything like that done. It is literally so much cleanup and prep to turn the shop into a dance hall, essentially.
I'm sorry. I just cannot ignore Beth's comment. Beth Harden is on YouTube. The black shirt is Lester's uniform. That's kind of true. But his blue shirts are for looking sexy. That is also true. He does it well. God. Beth, you are so kind. Thank you for the compliment. That is so ego boosting, Jamie. That's so ego boosting.
Can you go fill my coffee?
Yes.
Well, just walk out with your chest all proud and just take it. Just go ahead.
Thank you, Beth. This is to you. I'll fill up coffee.
Oh goodness. Anyway,
Daryl hollering.
Yeah, Dinky Daryl is up and about, and he would like a shirt as well. Goodness. It's been a crazy week, y'all. Coming out of the colonoscopy event, like again, it was just a colonoscopy, but to Lester, it was like a life-altering procedure, event, whatever. I have to tell you, I laughed so hard in that surgery center situation, and when I asked if I could record, like when I walked in, and the nurse told me yes. And I waited until the doctor was done with his debrief. I didn't want to disrespect that or I didn't also realize how out of it Lester was. Did you pay attention in his debrief? And this will play on Facebook this afternoon. Did you pay attention in his debrief, or like in his video, that he had like 3 hard resets? Like it was like he rebooted 3 separate times, because in the beginning when I walked in there, he turned to look at me and he was totally talking, but his eyes were closed. And I'm like, what the heck is going on right now? It was hilarious that it was like he was looking at me, but his eyes could not open at that point in time. And thank you.
You're very welcome.
And then that was step 1. Then step 2 is whenever he actually sits up and he realizes so he asked again. I was talking about your, like, I don't know if you even noticed.
I can tell what you're talking about.
You had 3 resets. Like you were like rebooted 3 times in that video of like your realization as to what's going on. The funniest thing in the whole wide world was when he asked the nurse, like he's mid-sentence and streaming along, and all of a sudden he has this like thing, and he turns to the nurse and goes, "Wait, did you see my butthole?" And like, oh my God, like
I would never say that.
Never.
Ever.
I've actually never heard you say that word before that video. Never.
Yeah, why would I ask a nurse, did you see my butthole?
Like seriously, like I have to give Lester, and maybe it's G, props about this, because for a man, he is actually the most respectful about restroom usage and bodily functions and all of those, like those. It's like it doesn't happen, for the record. It doesn't. Obviously, I'm a grown adult. I know that it happens, but there's no like big announcement. There like none of those things happen in front of me ever. So this whole like colonoscopy
we're not
journey,
the kind of couple who go in there and poop together. Or one of them poop while one.
We don't even use that word. Like animal, like seriously, we don't. So like, and I'm not a prude, and anybody that does, but I'm just saying like this colonoscopy thing was like a very vulnerable place for Lester, and that probably was a lot of his stress. Is that not only does he have to talk about it and acknowledge it with me, but with a whole bunch of strangers, not you, like the people at the clinic, all of that, and like it's a health thing.
Y'all are not strangers. Y'all need to know that y'all are not strangers.
So to be able to do all that was like, that was a lot of his stress. He probably doesn't even realize that was a lot of his stress.
Go ahead.
So like for him, I think it's hilarious that in that video, all of the things that he had been thinking in his head and stressed about, they like flew out. It was like truth serum coming out in the most non-filtered way. And I laughed until I cried. Like that nurse, when she came to the waiting room to get me and told me that she had heard everything she knew his whole life and all the things that he was scared of and how he never passed gas in front of me before. And she goes, he won't even say the word fart. And I was like, I'm like, that's him. And she's like, I know he's been a school teacher and how like, and for 25 years and he has 2 kids. And like, he just like went on and on and on. She goes, it's like he was never put out. He just talked the whole time. So anesthesia for Lester is truth serum.
I would have loved to have brought some home because that was a really neat experience to not even realize I'm getting drowsy. Because like I said in my video, when I talked about it, I'm sitting there having a conversation with people in the room, helping me get my shoulder adjusted. The guy asked me about what I do for a living. And I remember telling him, oh, well, and all of a sudden I don't remember another thing. So it happened so fast, but in a smooth kind of way. It wasn't like, no, it was so smooth. I want you to talk about this book. This darn book was sent to Jamie. There's a beautiful letter that she can read. I opened it because it had my name on it, but it's for Jamie by and far. It is so darn old. This thing is almost 100 years old, Jamie.
If y'all know, I have a thing for old books. I like children's books, or any old book to me is like a treasure.
Here, you read that and I'll kind of show them some of the book.
Hi, Jamie. I'm a retired school teacher and I have some American Indian in my heritage. I love literature and horses. I'm sending this book to you because it reminds me of you and Voodoo. I love the part that says he didn't find a horse, but a horse found him. Perhaps you can read it to be grace, Alora or the little girls. It's a very special story. You can see that it was very loved. I love all that you do for the animals and would be happy to support you and Lester in any way you might need. Thank you for enriching our lives and bringing such joy and happiness to our days. Big hugs, Nicolette. That is so, so sweet.
Little 2 Feet. That was the name of the horse.
Nope, that was the name of the Indian.
The Indian. He wished he had a horse. Little 2 Feet said to his father, "You must think like a horse to find one. Now go find one."
I love that. I can't
I
wait
know.
to read it.
It's
I'll
beautiful.
probably do that on a separate video because, and maybe
You need
I'll
to.
read it to Voodoo because it even kind of looks like Voodoo as well. It has a little bit here, a little bit here. It has a mix of Storm. Oh my gosh. I was scrolling through Facebook and came across a picture of a horse that I
Oh yeah.
freaked out because, hold on a second here. I took a screenshot of it. I freaked out because it was my horse in an advertisement and had a moment. It's back. Had a moment because it says put her down. And I instantly got mad and I'm talking split second mad. Okay. Look at this horse.
Put it real close.
It says put her down. Doesn't that sure look like my horse? That's not my horse. That's not Storm. But dang it, if it doesn't look just like her, she has that exact same mark in that exact same place. This is where her legs get black. It has me so freaked out. And it's for the 100X equine, which is the supplements that we use. And I was like, dang, if that's not my horse, that's
Sure
got to be
looks like it.
related to my horse. I don't know. I don't know. It's an ad for the supplement place. So,
Is that in Texas or do you know?
no idea.
Huh.
But I sent it to Lester and I was like, hold on. Here's my horse. It's the same.
Very similar markings.
Anyway, had a moment of pure panic the other night. I was like, Lester!
I'm not trying to put your horse down, Jamie, I promise.
So, anyway.
I don't even know if I've told you about this, but I've said it on a couple of videos that I'm going to take Trinity, that's Jezebel's calf. Trinity is our yearling, and get her DNA tested and find out how much Longhorn is in her. Because as she gets older, she doesn't, even though we don't really know much about anything from the people we got her from or her mom from, she's looking so Longhornish.
I agree.
And I mean, as she gets older, she's just, everything about her is just screaming Longhorn. So
I love her.
So here's what I was going to do. This is going to be pretty cool. Watch this. I would run 3 calves into our lot, into my squeeze chute, and draw. I don't know if it's blood or hair, what I have to pull. I have no idea. But send off for DNA. And the reason I would do 3 is I would like to take one that we know for a fact is pure, as pure as you can get, Longhorn, and then take one like Trinity, who we know we don't really know much about her. Oh, I had a third reason, Jamie. I was going to pull a third one for some reason. But one from Waylon, a calf from Waylon, a calf from Tex, and then Trinity. And then compare, because we know everything about Tex and Santiana. So probably Charlene would be the best one to pull to get a sample from, to know exactly what Tex and Santiana, who we know their heritage that goes back, or lineage, their lineage goes back a very, very long ways, because the places we got them from kept very, very good records. So getting DNA from Charlene to look at her numbers, and then getting DNA from someone that was sired or daddied by Waylon, because we don't know a whole lot about Waylon's lineage, but the DNA would tell us a whole lot. And then we could get one from Trinity, who we know the mom, but we don't know anything about her dad. And just kind of seeing what the numbers look like and how they differ as far as what percentages kind of go where. It's kind of like that that DNA place where you can send off for your DNA and they can tell you all about where you can trace back from.
Yeah.
You ever done that?
No.
My dad did. We bought that kit from my dad And he was scared to do it for the longest time. He was scared to do it. I'm like, what are you so scared of? He wouldn't tell us. I don't know what he was afraid of. It's like, my dad's not my dad.
No,
I don't know what he was
my
scared.
conspiracy little heart goes a little wild talking about that, but
Oh, the DNA part.
yeah.
Well, anyway, we did it for my dad, and it was really neat when the results came back to show how much European, German, and Scottish, and it even goes even further back into the African countries. Did you know that? It goes way back, friends.
Huh.
Now, I don't know how. I'm guessing they can't just fabricate numbers, can they? No one can just say, oh, we'll just fabricate some stuff up, or I don't know. But it was so interesting. So I've never seen it done on an animal, but we're going to do that on 3 of our little longhorn babies, our yearlings, and see what's going on with everything.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
What else you got
Whoa,
going
you
on
got
today?
quiet all of a sudden. I don't know.
I talked for like 30 minutes, so I thought that I would let you.
Well, I don't
it
know. No, well, I mean, you know, I guess whenever I find myself with not much to say, we can always do an animal update. Ernie is still Ernie, just day by day in it, just day by day with Ernie. And so you can talk about Voodoo.
Voodoo had a rough night last night. Voodoo, I don't know, like 2 days ago, Lester saw him limping the day I was gone.
He wasn't limping. He was just walking stiff, like walking
He
stiff.
was walking gingerly, so it wasn't a full-on limp, but I could tell that his feet were hurting. So that night I came home, I picked out all of his feet. He did have a little bit like impacted in his, but no rocks, nothing like that. Gave him a bath that night and just thought, that it was fine after that because he walked fine. He went up to eat, like everything was good. And then last night, and I have a video that I'll post after this live, I came out and he was laying down, and that really doesn't, I know that they lay down, but it was 9 o'clock, and normally Voodoo's lay down time is like between 4 and 6 in the morning. So I got a little bit nervous about that. He got up 30 minutes later and was fine, but I can tell that he's really stiff. So I'm gonna call Dr. Baker and see if we can get her out here. He hasn't been treated since chiropractically since the accident, and I know that he's really stiff. Now, could it just be, just some of that? Yes, I'm just not sure what else it could be that is causing him to do that. So I'll see when I can get Dr. Baker to come out and treat him, and hopefully that'll pan out.
Robin asked a question over at the sanctuary. Ellie and Megan had some baby goats born, and they want to know, are those baby goats fins? And I would say yes.
Yeah,
I would say yes. As far as all of the longhorns, they're fine. I did have a little peek at Amber, who had a little bit of a limp, and she's kind of hobbling around a little bit, but there's, like, from what I can tell, there's nothing big, so she's fine. And then Sadie's also fine. She ate normal yesterday. She's doing good. She has not been, maybe it was just hot, or maybe she didn't feel well. I don't know why she did not eat that one particular time, but she's fine, friends. Over here, everyone's good as far as animals go.
People want to know, how come you don't go to the river anymore?
Well, so I told you guys that after the flood, and don't forget we had a horrible flood. Now, I go to the river all the time, but I don't take you, and here's why. I need a chainsaw because there are so many trees down. And so to navigate to the river, it's already a long walk down a very steep road. And right now I have trees that are over my road. So don't worry. I go to the river plenty, but it is
pretty snaky until the fall. So once the fall happens and we get the chainsaw situation cleared out.
So I can't mow down there because I can't get to the river, but I am going to buy me a chainsaw, and I am going to go down and clear out my path. And then yes, absolutely go to the river. Don't forget though, our little building, the little haunted shack, the cabin in the woods is no longer there. It washed away with the flood. We have a lot of trees that are down off this hillside, so we definitely need to have some chainsaw stuff done. Now, I can't navigate the hills, so I'll let those trees just lay there and rot, but I will have to work on my actual drive, the path that goes down. And so I've gone to the river plenty on my own time, but it has to climb, and so I can't take the goats down or anything like that. So it will happen soon, though.
It's coming.
Once weather pulls off.
Upsy is doing really well. Her legs are straightening out a lot. They're not perfect yet, but we we knew that it was partially probably how she was in the belly, but then also the nutrients that she gets from mama and the strength that she builds. She was pretty early, actually.
That's funny.
Yeah, Lester needs a buddy and not to light the fire on this hillside.
I'm going to
Whenever.
buy some of those cool things that those guys put on their, it's like chaps. You seen them?
Yeah.
People who use chainsaws a lot, they have some kind of a garment they put on, a very thick garment that goes around you. And they look like chaps you would use on a horse ride. But they're very thick. So if you do have that slip of the chainsaw, you're not going to go right through your leg. It's going to hit them, that really thick, whatever that is, leather, and at least give you some layer of protection from a chainsaw blade.
Somebody said, Fire Chief Chris to the rescue. Speaking of Fire Chief Chris, you know that we have to do that in about 30 minutes.
Yes, today is their fundraiser where they do their soup. They had potato soup, they have chili, they have gumbo. And so we'll be going over to the fire department here and being a part of all of that. And so we know what our lunch is going to be today. Our lunch date to the volunteer fire department soup cook-off.
Yeah.
Jamie will get the chili. I'll get the gumbo.
I'm so excited for
now,
chili.
Last year I got gumbo and potato soup. I got one of each, and that was delicious. Yeah. So.
Somebody asked if Upsy is getting selenium. So it is in there, the mineral block, and she had her first. She had an actual dose of it. What day is it today? It's Saturday. She had an actual dose of it on Sunday, and basically I was told to do it then and see what happens. So that's where I'm at. But she's doing really well. She runs around. She plays. I will say, I told Lester this morning. Lester goes, "This baby's always humming." This baby is the most cautious baby that we've had. She is a very...
Oh, is that hum a nervous hum?
When you're around.
Oh, I thought it was the most beautiful sound ever. She's just so sweet.
She is a very vocal baby.
I'm trying to make my legs look
a little bit
buckled, but
yeah, she is. She's just a very nervous little baby. I'm guessing Annie is doing that for just. It's a girl. She did the same thing with Indy, and this little baby is just like. She's curious, and I love, like, we'll be out there watering or feeding, and if you are watering the big alpacas, she wants to come up and she's curious, but if you make eye contact, she hurries up and turns around. So like she's a very nervous little alpaca.
Melanie goes, "Ooh, I'm going to make potato soup today. Thanks for the idea." I love potato soup.
Lester does.
Oh, I love me some potato soup, but I also love gumbo. So what I'll do today is I'll eat one there more than likely, then I'll have one to go. So I'm not going to mix them at the same time. I wouldn't like that.
I hope the corn people are there.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So
the corn people.
There is a family that does street corn at the same event, and Lester doesn't like that, but oh my God.
Well, they put mayonnaise on it. There's mayonnaise on it.
That's street corn.
No. It's not my thing.
It is so terrific.
So I do think that's a cultural thing that comes from our neighbors down south who bring that here to the States.
Whatever. I love it.
But it's like corn on the cob, or they could put the corn into a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's all mixed up in there.
So it's mayonnaise, Parmesan cheese.
Open your phone and show someone a picture of how it looks. So, elotes.
Yeah.
So I think they do call it elotes, says Cassie. Cassie, thank you so much. I love elotes. Now, I think elotes is the name of it, but we call it street corn here.
So this is one of them. Like if it's not on a cob. Oh my God, it's good. It's got. So I actually made some that came with my HelloFresh. And you put your peppers and your corn, and you actually roast the corn. And then you put in mayonnaise and Parmesan cheese. I put in some crushed red pepper. People put like
hot sauce. The Spanish kids in my classes,
there's always hot sauce.
All those Spanish kids would eat those elotes, and they would put like the really hot stuff on it. It was so hot.
These people will have like a little like buffet of like toppings you can have, and they will take those hot Cheetos and crush them up, and you can sprinkle some of that on top. Let me just tell you, it is fabulous. Like chili is my most favorite food on this earth. I gotta be honest. I just tried elotes for the first time 6 months ago when they had their spring fundraiser. And I'm hooked. And I haven't made corn the normal way since then. He doesn't like it. So like that for me is like the whole meal. Just
Yeah,
that.
that's a good meal. I'm glad that you like it. It's just not my thing. I've never been a mayonnaise eater. I've never liked to taste the mayonnaise. So anytime I go get a burger, I always just want it plain and dry, meat and cheese, and then I will add what I want.
No, I want mayonnaise on everything.
Yeah, Jamie loves her some mayonnaise. So, well, if you're ready to get off of
I
here,
am.
it's time. Friends, we want to say thank you so much for, watching the videos, obviously, loving and supporting us, putting up with the most annoying ads in the world. And just remember that it's that time of year for all of the elections. We don't choose the ads, y'all. You can't be upset with us for what ads come on to your channel. So just understand that we have nothing to do with the advertisements, but that is how we get paid, not from the advertisers, but from Facebook and YouTube. What else you want to say about that? Because I have had people email saying, I can't believe you showed this ad, and they want to get mad at us for the ads that play.
Your ads are geared towards whatever you watch and whatever Facebook or YouTube decides that they want you to see.
We don't control the ads that play on the videos, friends. So sorry about all of that. But listen, we're blessed to have you, and we're never going to stop saying that. I hope you understand how much you mean to us as just friends and family. And so thank you for being you.
That pretty much sums it up. We love you. We hope you have a safe day and you stay well. I am sure that we will keep you posted on how everything's going, and maybe I'll make a video of my corn because it's so good. I'm so excited about it. I forgot all about it till just now, and that's all I can think about.
And I can't wait to see your reaction video to the furniture, because she did record. She has some recordings. So we're going to end the video the way we started it, with those beautiful smiles from all the folks wearing their shirts, their Voodoo shirts. Thank you so very much for watching. We love you, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.